Hey guys, I'm Rashi Himalaya. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm holding my little teeny tiny cat here. Her name is Nininha. Now she is being extremely naughty. She's climbing up on the shelf there. She's trying to bite my plants in the background. She just wants some attention, doesn't she? Oh, look at her. So today I thought I would film a bit of a makeup update video. So there's quite a few products here that I purchased this year. Some of them are limited edition, and with Black Friday just around the corner, I thought, hey, why not let me do an update so that I can tell you how I feel about these products. I have done individual reviews with a lot of these products, but I have continued to use them, and there's some products that I've changed my mind on, and there are some fabulous, amazing products, while others I still dislike. So let's get into those details. Now, if you're curious what I've got as my makeup look today, so for my eyes, it was super easy. All I did was use the Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Color Stick, and I buffed it just all over the eye. Really, that's sort of the base of the eye. It's that caviar stick, and it's in the shade Cocoa, which is a beautiful, like a bronzy brown shade. It's really stunning. It's a bit of a satin finish. It has only a hint of shimmer in there. It's not too much shimmer at all. And then I've topped it off with Stila, what is it called? It's Stila Shimmer and Glow. So not the glittered glow, it's the shimmer and glow formula that I much prefer. And this is called Smoky Quartz, and that's right on the top there, which is stunning. Hey baby girl, if I let you go, are you gonna behave? Okay, she's gonna behave. For my lips, I've got the Patrick Ta lip liner in Oh She's Single. I love this lip liner. I'll talk about it a little bit more in a moment. And then for lipstick, I've got the Huda Beauty lipstick in the shade Limitless. And that is the lip combo that I'm wearing right now. It's stunning. I love it. Anyways, let's just get into our products. So this is not going to be in any particular order, but I'm going to talk about the limited edition products first. So let's just start off with the Charlotte Tilbury Love Filter lipstick. So when these came out earlier this year, they are limited edition. I've got the shade Mrs. Kisses and Wedding Bells. These lipsticks have that very pretty design to them. They've got the little lips on the bullet itself. They look gorgeous, absolutely, and these two shades are really stunning. So I have done a Charlotte Tilbury lip swatch video where I did swatch these, but I'm just gonna show you what these look like on my arm. So we've got Mrs. Kisses, which is a beautiful peachy tone. Really love this color. And then we have Wedding Bells, which is a brown toned pink. Out of these two, my favorite one for sure is Mrs. Kisses, and I generally wear Mrs. more so than the other one. I just love the peachy tone, and it works really well for my pigmented lips. So what do I think about these lipsticks though? So I generally love Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. I love them. They are my handbag staple. They're always in my work bag because they are just effortless to apply, and they don't dry out my lips. They're very comfortable, and they give you a slightly matte look to your lips. But unfortunately, these Love Filter lipsticks are not exactly the same as her standard Matte Revolution formula. So I've got quite a few of her Matte Revolution lipsticks, and I've been wearing them for so long that I kind of really know the formula really well. And what I can tell you is that these lipsticks are not quite the same. The problem I've got with these is that when I have dry lips, I can't really wear them. They really emphasize the dryness on my lips. Now on days that I don't have dry lips, these are perfect. So in my opinion, I actually really love Mrs. Kisses. That's the shade that if I could, I would repurchase again, irrespective of the formula, because the color is so beautiful. But other than that, not the same formula, which is kind of sad from Charlotte Tilbury. Next up is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Star highlighter. So this is a highlighter that came out last year, I believe, but this year it's again, I think, limited edition. I love this highlighter. Of course, if I can get it to open. This is quite hard to open. It has a very skinny base and then a thicker lid, which means that opening it up when you have nails is kind of annoying. Ooh, still have Nininha's fur on my face. Okay, so this is a beautiful highlighter. I have extremely enjoyed wearing this. I actually only bought this because of one of you. Rachel, if you're watching, I kind of ended up buying this because you said you loved it. So yeah, It's stunning, you were right. But for my skin tone and deeper, this is fantastic. While we're talking about Charlotte Tilbury, let's just talk about some more Charlotte Tilbury. Her jewel, what is it called? I think this is the Walk of No Shame gloss. This is limited edition as well. This is the jewel lips, I believe. I love this gloss. I'm not particularly a gloss person. I love my lipsticks, and there are times when I want to use gloss, but I really enjoyed this. This has this really gorgeous sort of copper, red and gold shimmer that looks stunning on the lips, and every time I've worn this, I really enjoyed it. So I'm actually thinking of picking up other shades in this formula. There's a champagne shade, I believe, which is like going to be like a beigey color, and then there is Pillow Talk. So I might just pick up 2 more shades in this. I really love it. It does have a bit of tackiness to it. It's not sticky, but it's definitely tacky. It's not a lip gloss formula that you can just mush your lips together. You're gonna feel it's emollient. It's not like that. And it does stay put even through eating or drinking. So I definitely enjoyed this. Then she came out with these jewel pots. I've got Walk of No Shame, and this is okay in my opinion. This is just, I think this is very overpriced for what this is. If this was a cream eyeshadow, I think I would have really enjoyed it. But because it's kind of like a mousse formula, and then it has this shimmer that's nice, but it's really not worth the money. So I would say skip on this one. Next up, I want to talk about the Hourglass Ambient Lightning Edit. This is the Sculpture Unblocked. So this has been released before, but this year I believe again it's limited edition, and I have really enjoyed using this. So I did a whole video on this, and you guys know how I feel about this, but as I've continued to use it, I've enjoyed all 4 powders, and they all showed up on me, and they were actually really good for my skin tone. So really enjoyed this as an all over powder. The bronzer also looked really lovely and natural. The blush applied beautifully. I definitely prefer using a more dense brush to apply this blush, otherwise it looks too sheer. And then I enjoyed the highlighter as well. I think that if you're interested in these Hourglass powders, this is probably a really good bang for your buck, because you're getting 4 different shades. But if you are shades deeper than me, don't pick this up. It's not going to work for you. So if you're lighter than me, absolutely. If you're maybe 1 shade deeper than I am, then I'm going to say yes, but really not more than NC42. But I have definitely really enjoyed this, and I'm quite happy I've got this. I actually wouldn't have purchased this if it wasn't for one of you guys that really wanted to see a review on this palette, and I thought, okay, I'll purchase it, and I'm really happy I did. I just want to mention that with these powders, they do give a slightly soft focused glow to the skin, and there's a little bit of blurriness, but it's not too much, you know. It's not like you're wearing a filter, no, but they do give a soft focused finish, and anytime I've worn these, I've really just enjoyed how my makeup looks. Okay, now let's talk about the Natasha Denona multichrome liquid shadows that she came out with earlier this year. I love these. I've continued to wear them, and they are so stunning, super pigmented. Love the multi shifts. You get 3 shifts in these. Color Scarab is so stunning, and I've really enjoyed ultraviolet as well. They last all day, they don't fade, they don't really crease either. I think there's a bit of a learning curve in how you apply these, but once you get past that, once you understand how to apply these products, they're just top notch. And I do think that you might be better off purchasing these than actually her Trio Chrome palette. That palette unfortunately only has 3 duochromes. They're not multichromes, they're duochromes. These are in fact multichromes. So I just think I feel happier in my decision to buy these and not the Trio Chrome palette. Especially because the Trio Chrome palette has a lot of light shades, and I know for my skin tone they're not gonna really work. That's okay. I'm glad that there was one palette I knew I didn't have to spend money on, and so yes. So next up we have Khaki Haze Obsessions from Huda Beauty. So I love this palette. Yes, I know that the formula isn't the best, But irrespective of that, I think the color story is beautiful. I've created some really nice looks with this palette. I've even worn this palette to work. For example, I did a work appropriate smoky eye. I used this shade here in the crease, this shade all over my lid, and then smoked out my outer V with this shade, and it was beautiful. It looked really stunning and different. Like, it's not a type of smoky eye that I normally would do, but having that khaki shade in the middle, especially diffused with this shade, was really stunning. So I have really enjoyed this palette. I just realized I'm not wearing a highlighter today. Well, I've got the Charlotte Tilbury underneath. I've got a nude stick blush. Other than that, my skin has this glow, which I'm really liking. But how did I skip highlighter? Tell you what, I recently purchased Charlotte Tilbury's glowgasm in the shade goldgasm, and that's because one of you guys really wanted to see a review on it. And this is very, very gold. It's a beautiful highlighter, but it's very gold. So I feel like this is going to be amazing on deeper skin tones. On my skin tone, I kind of have to be careful with this and not apply too much, otherwise you see a very yellow gold highlight. So I'm just going to swatch this on my hand so you know what I mean. Like, do you see that? That is extremely yellow gold. It's beautiful though. So I'm just gonna pop this on my cheek so you guys can see what this looks like. Hey Lee, if you're watching, I do recommend this product. It is a gorgeous highlighter, and as long as this shade you don't apply too much of, it's, oh, look at that. Oh my god, that's so beautiful. This really is such a stunning highlighter, and it's really a highlighter for those of us that like a subtle glow. Like, we don't want lots of shimmer, we just want a beautiful glow to the cheek. And I've just applied such a small amount, and look how beautiful that looks. Check that out. Oh, that is so stunning. So thank you, Lee, for telling me to try out this product, because it's so stunning. God, I love it, and I really want to get more shades now. More money to spend on. I'm gonna pop that on right here. So this is how much I would normally apply of this highlighter, just because of how gold it is. It's so stunning. You only need a very small amount. I'm gonna pop it right here. How gorgeous is this highlighter? Look at that. Wow. And I used a very, very small amount, so this is a big hit. I really love it, and I want to get more shades. I do. Charlotte Tilbury, you're killing me. Sorry, I kind of got sidetracked, but yes, I really enjoyed the khaki palette. This is definite recommendation from me. And of course, she also came out with the purple haze. Now, I'm not sure if these are entirely limited edition, but I'm talking about them as if they are, because I'm just not too sure. I did look it up on her website. It didn't really say they were limited edition, but I've heard some people say that it is, so I don't know. But this was a good purchasing decision. Purple haze, on the other hand, this was a really nice palette. Of course, there are some cons with this palette that I discussed as part of my review. So if you haven't seen my review of this palette, I actually did a comparison against the Juvia's Place purple palette. I've continued to use this palette, and I think this is an okay palette. The formula in this palette is not too bad. Unfortunately, the mattes aren't as good as the khaki haze palette, and then the shimmers, I really love these two specific shimmers right here, this one and this here. Those two shimmers make me happy. The rest of the shimmers are okay, the mattes are okay. This shade right here isn't really deep enough to smoke out the outer V. So this is a palette that if I really want to use it, I use it in conjunction with my other palettes. I don't really use it on its own. If I'm forced to use it on its own, I feel very, very annoyed. So this is a palette that I'm gonna say, if you're wanting to pick out of these two, khaki haze, absolutely. Purple haze, you can get it on sale, maybe then grab it. Other than that, I don't really think you need this. Let's move on to the Metropolis palette. So I know this is not new, this didn't come out this year, but I purchased it this year and it's still limited edition. And I friggin' love this palette. I think this palette is amazing. I've created a lot of looks with this palette and each time I'm very, very happy with it. So I won't talk more about this because I did talk about it in Makeup That Sparks Joy. This is one of those palettes that sparks joy. So let me talk about though the Pat McGrath palette. So this is a palette that I came very close to not purchasing this year, but I'm so happy I did. Oh my god, it's a bit of a crazy color story. It definitely is. I feel like these shades are just thrown all over the place. And even though I've been using this palette, I still feel the same way. I still don't see a color story. However, every time I've used this palette, I have been extremely happy. The shimmers are beautiful, the mattes are stunning, and everything is very pigmented. And it's just, you almost have to hold back and start off with a very light application because you can go too quick, too strong on this palette. But I've been really, really, really loving it. I think that this is a great price for the amount of product and the number of shades that you get. The color diversity is really stunning. I have nothing bad to say about this palette. Maybe just this shade, which I haven't been particularly happy with. Maybe just that shade isn't the best, but everything else is spot on. Ah, I love it. I love it. This palette actually made me buy one of Pat's older palettes. So should I show you? Okay, let me show you. Hold on. I purchased the Pat McGrath Mothership palette, Subversive 3. So in our local Sephora here in New Zealand had like a one-day flash sale on Pat McGrath, 30% off, and then I picked this baby up. And really, I wasn't going to buy any of these bigger Pat eyeshadows anytime soon, but I just love this so much that I couldn't pass on it. And initially I thought it was going to be hard for me to pick out what palette am I actually going to purchase, but it really wasn't that hard because the color story in this palette is just beautiful. I mean, just look at that. This shade right here, Gigabyte, this is probably the most beautiful shade I've ever seen in an eyeshadow ever. Like, it's so stunning. I'm dying to do a look for you guys with this shade. I fully haven't played with this palette. I've tried a few shades, but I've really just been admiring it from afar. So let me know if you guys are at all interested in seeing this palette in action or swatches or anything like that. I know this is an older palette, which is why I haven't really done anything on it, but this was kind of like my guilty pleasure. So those were the limited edition products that I bought this year. There weren't that many, which I'm very happy about. Hopefully that gives you an idea of what I've loved and what I didn't think was worth the money. Now, let me just go and give you guys very quick updates on some of my other makeup purchases this year, particularly the ones that were released this year. Just so before you're going into those Black Friday sales, you have an idea of what I still think about these products. Now, I want to quickly first mention the two products that I've changed my mind on. First up is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. So I give this maybe a bit of a brutal review, and that's because I really didn't like shade medium. I think that was a shade that just really put me off, and I was very angry with that specific shade. I also didn't really like the marketing behind this bronzer. I mean, there were so many things that went into that review. Also, this is a very mattifying bronzer. For those of you that like to have dewy cheeks, like I love having dewy cheeks, having a mattifying bronzer can actually remove the dewiness. So some of you may not like that. If you don't like that, don't buy this. But if you're someone that loves a matte cheek, maybe you have skin texture, then I think you will probably really enjoy this. Now, I've been, of course, using shade 10. I actually sold my medium to somebody else. Phew, good riddance. But I have really enjoyed shade tan. It works really well for my skin tone. I'm actually wearing it today and I've just got it very lightly applied and I really like how that looks. What I also really like about this shade is that because it's so pigmented, I only need a very small amount, and that means that if I'm using just a small amount, it is not going to mattify my cheeks. So there's plenty of dewy skin around my cheeks, and that's just because I've used a very small amount, and I'm quite liking how this looks. So I'm happy that this is a bronzer that I can use and enjoy. Next up is the Gucci bronzer. So this is not a bronzer that I hate or anything like that. It's just in my review video, I said that this was a good bronzer, but not great. I still stand behind that review, but I've definitely been using it a lot lately, and the scent still bothers me. It's quite strong. Yeah, it's a very strong floral scent. Not going to be everyone's cup of tea, right? So I wish they hadn't put such a strong scent, but we are talking about Gucci here, so often luxury makeup will have very strongly scented products, and that's one of the reasons probably why I don't really end up buying a lot of luxury products. But the packaging, of course, is stunning, and the actual bronzer itself, this specific shade, shade 3, is really stunning. It's got that golden yellow undertone. It looks beautiful on the skin. Of course, I don't have it on today, but every time I've applied it, I've enjoyed how it looks. Now it does have little specks of golden shimmer that initially I didn't particularly like. Now I feel like I've grown kind of used to them and I don't notice them as much. I will notice some on my forehead. I think on my forehead they particularly stand out, which I don't particularly like. However, the formula of this bronzer is beautiful. It's got that creamy powder formula that does look really lovely on the skin. So I have been enjoying this. Fenty this year came up with their bronzers as well. So I initially had bought shade Teddy, which I have shown you guys in a video. This is a little bit too cool tone for my skin tone and for the type of bronzers that I prefer. However, it still looks really nice and actually works quite well for me as a bronzer slash contour. So I have enjoyed wearing this. It does last a decent amount of time on the skin as well. It doesn't really fade, which is fantastic, but it is more on the emollient side. So if you don't like your emollient cheek products, you're probably not going to like these. Now, I also ended up picking up the one shade before, which is the shade Honey Glaze. Online, this looked really warm, and in person, it looks even warmer. So this is in fact too warm. It's just way too warm, and I feel a bit of like Oompa Loompa in this shade. So I really don't like this bronzer, and I don't know who this is going to work for. My skin tone can handle really warm bronzers just because of how much warm yellow undertone that I have, but no, this just, let me swatch it for you. This I really didn't enjoy as a bronzer. As a blush though, now as a blush, this is really nice because it gives you that warmth to the cheeks that looks beautiful. But as a bronzer, oh no, not as a bronzer. Do you see what I mean? This is extremely warm and almost orange. So not as a bronzer at all. And I'll just swatch Teddy right next to that just so you have an idea of what Teddy looks like. So this is Teddy and this is Honey Glaze. I mean, there's a big difference between these two. So this one works for me more as a bronzer contour. I actually use this as a blush because as a bronzer, I don't like it. It's way too warm. So while we're talking about Fenty, let's talk about the cream blushes that Fenty came out with this year. I actually haven't been reaching for these. Most of the time when I want a cream blush, I will either pick up my nude stick blushes, my Patrick Ta blushes, Vestment Atelier. I would be picking up those blushes, but the Fenty ones, I think this shade Rose Latte is really stunning. It's really this deep mauvish brown shade that I really love. And of course, this one just makes my cheeks pop and it's very flattering against my skin tone. So from a shade perspective, I love these blushes. They are gorgeous shades. Considering all the other cream blushes that I have and that I love so much, I've actually been reaching for those. I haven't really been reaching for the Fenty blushes. And now while we're on the topic, let's talk about Patrick Tar blushes he released this year. So these blushes are fantastic. I love them. I really do. And I've got 4 shades. I use all 4 shades. And all 4 of them actually look really good on my skin tone. If you're thinking of picking this up, it really just depends on what is your makeup preference in terms of what shades you want to go for. My most used shade though is She's So LA. This is definitely a shade that I have been reaching for all the time, particularly when I do nude brown looks or dramatic smoky eyes, anything like that where I just want a soft warmth on my cheeks. This is the blush that I've been reaching for constantly. I love it. But all these blushes are worth the money, I'm gonna say. Charlotte Tilbury came out with the Walk of No Shame blush this year. This is not limited edition, thank God, because it is incredibly stunning. I highly, highly, highly recommend this blush. Yes, it has a beautiful satin finish to the skin. It gives a glow to the cheeks without any detectable shimmer. Yes, I love it. And then I'm gonna go back to bronzers for a little bit. There were definitely a few bronzer releases this year. I got the new Kosas bronzer, which is in the shade medium. I freaking love this stuff. This is when you really, really want a shimmery, beautiful, coppery, golden bronzer. This is it. This makes me feel like I'm on a vacation somewhere. So I really love this. Then we had the Nars reformulated their bronzers, and this is the matte bronzer in the shade Laguna. This is different to the original Laguna. It's a lot warmer, and I have been loving this bronzer. It again has that creamy powder finish to the skin. It looks really stunning. Then Ilia also released their bronzer. I mean, this is just perfection. This one from the shade, it's like a golden yellow undertone. It's pigmented. It applies super smooth, blends out super easily. Again, a creamy powder. There's nothing bad I can say about this. It's stunning. I feel like this video is going to be super long, so I'm going to try and be quick. Patrick Tar also released his lipsticks this year. I still don't like them. The packaging is of course really stunning, but these lipsticks are just drying and I don't like that at all. Not when I have other lipsticks, not when I have Lisa Eldridge and I have Charlotte Tilbury and Estee Lauder and Huda Beauty lipsticks. Those lipsticks don't make my lips feel like they're about to fall off my face, but these do. Every time I wear them, I suffer. So I don't like them. So if you're someone in your early 20s, mid 20s, you don't really get dry lips, I think you'll probably enjoy these. But anyone who suffers from dry lips or who wants to wear a lip for 8 hours a day, this is not it, because it dried out my lips every single time, no exception. I can wear them with the gloss though. That's okay, because the gloss gives that hydration and kind of protects your skin from drying out completely. But I will not repurchase any more shade releases in this formula. His lip liner though is stunning. So I have been really loving this lip liner. This is in the shade Oh She's Single. The color is gorgeous. It's like this muted cinnamon brown. Like I would call this a muted cinnamon brown. It looks really beautiful. So today I'm wearing it. I'm actually wearing it quite heavily, almost all over my lip area. And then I've gone in with the shade Limitless from Huda Beauty with just a very light application of this shade right in the middle. And it just gives such a beautiful look. It's like a 90s supermodel type of look. So I love the shade. And on top of that, I actually really like the packaging. It comes with this rectangle tip. And what this means is that I always get a really great line. So every time I'm lining my lips, I can be a little bit sloppy. I don't have to put in my 100% focus in lining my lips because the shape of this just really, really helps. So I have enjoyed this immensely and I've been using this a lot. So if you are in the market for a luxury lip liner, highly recommend. I'm kind of going all over the place, so don't mind me, but Huda Beauty came out with their mascara this year, Legit Lashes Mascara. I've actually been really loving this. So most of the time when I'm doing an eye look, I'm wearing this mascara. It has two sides. It has the volume side, and this is a side I probably use the most. It gives me super big lashes. So this is a mascara where my husband looked at me and said, whoa, those are massive lashes. Yeah, it's because of this baby right here. It is a fiber mascara. So those of you that don't like fibers, you're not gonna like this. It definitely has fibers. So sometimes if I apply, oh, this highlighter is so pretty. Anyways, sometimes when I apply too much of this, I do get some of that fiber fallout. It's only a small amount, but for those of you that don't like that, probably skip on this. And the other side is the curl and length side, which actually does give me a little bit of length and definition, and then this side gives you the volume. It works. I really like it. Then Huda Beauty came out with these lip balm things, which looks very pretty. But unfortunately, the lip balm is just an average lip balm. There's nothing special about it. So I think this was a bit of a waste of money for me. So I wouldn't really recommend unless you want that cool glittery look. Why not? YSL came out with their Velvet Cream Liquid Lipsticks. I have been loving these. So these are super gorgeous. Again, I have videos on most of these products, and I've done swatches and a wear test with this. So make sure to check that out. And these two shades I have just loved. The one is 208, which is this gorgeous red. It looks so stunning on me. So this is the red that I wore in my vampire tutorial with that beautiful red lip. And also my top bronzer video, I wore this red. Yes, it's everything. It gives you that almost lacquer finish, and it's a little bit glossy, but not too glossy. It's full opacity and it stays put for a very long time. It doesn't dry out your lips. It's beautiful. And then the other shade I love is 210, which is a gorgeous, sort of a deeper mauve nude as well. It's love. Let's talk about the MAC Powder Kiss Liquid Lip colors that came out this year. These are lovely. So I've done a video with the swatches, but also a review at the end. And these are lovely. I do enjoy wearing them. My favorite shades are Over the Top, which is a gorgeous nudish pinky brown. It's so beautiful. The other one I love is a mauve, like a pinky mauve nude, and that's more the merrier. Then I love my Devoted to Chili, yes, and then Make It Fashion is just a bright, bright fuchsia. Yes, love these. They also last a long time on the lips. I mean, I can wear them the whole day. They're that amazing. Oh, now I don't have with me the Makeup Forever lipsticks. Now the Makeup Forever lipsticks, although are quite nice and creamy and pigmented, the fragrance though, initially I didn't have any problem with it, but as I continued to wear those lipsticks, so I've worn them day in, day out, every single day, and unfortunately the fragrance really bothered me because each time you apply it, you get that hit, and they're not my favorite just because of the fragrance, and they're also quite bulky. So they're really huge. They take up a lot of space in my handbag, especially if I've got multiple of those, and they take up a lot of storage space as well. So not happy with the packaging. I didn't think they needed to be that big, especially when you don't get that much product. So now I want to mention these Powder Kiss eyeshadows from MAC. So I initially just bought 2 and I love the formula. So I went back and purchased 3 more. And so now I have shade What Clout, which is a beautiful as a prep shade. I love using this all over the eye. Then I have Lens Blur, which is a beautiful purpley magenta shade. It's stunning. I have So Hot Right Now, which is a gorgeous coral orange. We have Devoted to Chili, of course, a beautiful earthy reddish brown. It's stunning. And then lastly, I've got Give a Glam, which is a gorgeous, stunning, cool brown, a deep cool brown. I love all of these. They blend like a dream. What can I say? They're really stunning. If you can get singles instead of the full sizes. It's a better deal. Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. Ooh, almost missed these. Wow. So this year was my first time trying Lisa Eldridge, and these lipsticks are fantastic, just like how everybody says they are. They are pigmented and very, very matte. They give you almost like that MAC retro matte lipstick look. They're extremely matte, but they don't dry out your lips. I can wear these the whole day and my lips will not suffer at the end of the day. So I'm very, very, very happy with these. Of course, the packaging is stunning. This shade Myth, I mean, just look at that. Yeah, it's really stunning. The only thing I want to say about these, so the shade Affair that I have, which is a pretty light shade, I mean, it's a lot lighter than my natural lip color. It can give me that lip line that you get sometimes. So that specific shade can give me a lip line. All of these other lipsticks have not given me the lip line. It's funny that a lot of people don't actually talk about Lisa Eldridge lipsticks, and that may be because these are just so hard to get. I mean, she releases new shades like once a year. She does a stock update once or twice a year. So I understand that these can be quite difficult to get a hold of. And if you're someone that struggles with anxiety, you probably don't want to worry about this. So I'm going to say, let it go. If makeup gives you anxiety, then it's not good. It's not good. I recently did a review of the Naughty palette from Huda Beauty. The mattes are gorgeous. The shimmers were a big letdown. So in my opinion, if you really want this color story, get this palette when it's on sale. And even then, I think it is not really worth the money. Then let's talk about Natasha Denona came with the bronze palette this year. This is not limited edition. This is gorgeous. I have really enjoyed using all of these shades, and nothing bad to say about it. It does have some shades that are quite similar to each other in standard Natasha Denona fashion. However, they are all very good quality. So I have enjoyed this immensely. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the last product here, which is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I think I've covered everything. If I haven't, I'm sorry. I haven't done a full review on this yet. This is a palette that took me a while to get into just because it looks so monotone. And I'm going to probably do a full video on this. Let me know if you want to see a full review video, but just in summary, I do really love this palette. It does have its pros and cons though. So the pros are that the quality is fantastic. Every single shade in here is great. The mattes are beautiful. The shimmers are stunning. So from a quality perspective, it's a very good purchasing decision. Now from the color story, that really just depends on whether you like cool tones. If you're looking for a cool tone palette, I think this is an amazing purchase. It really is. However, a lot of the looks that you get from this palette do end up being more or less monotone. So I wish Natasha Denona had done something different with this palette. I wish she had some cool tone blues or some cool tone greens in this palette. I think some color would have been perfect, but that's what this palette is really lacking. It's that color diversity. But other than that, gorgeous eyeshadows. Have enjoyed creating looks with this. By the way, I have rearranged this, so if it looks a little bit different, it's just because I have rearranged it into more of a medium skin tone friendly layout. That's why it looks just a little bit different. Let me know, are you guys shopping on Black Friday? Have you already started shopping? Because for me, I feel like I'm almost out of money for Black Friday because of pre-Black Friday sales. Dang. I think we all need to remember to not go too crazy with Black Friday. Sales happen all the time. There will be another sale, so don't go too crazy. Keep that money safe and just maybe prioritize on things that you've really been wanting to spend your money on. Hey, by the way, if you know already what you're gonna buy with these Black Friday sales, can you list them down below? It would be so interesting to know what you guys are planning on purchasing, and if any of these products that I've talked about today you're thinking of buying. And of course, subscribe to my channel. Each time you subscribe, you guys make me smile because I get a little notification, and I love this channel so much, and I love talking to you. It's so much fun talking to you guys about makeup. You guys have given me such amazing recommendations. Can I just say that? It's like, yes, here I am on my platform giving you guys recommendations, but Honestly, it's been amazing to hear your feedback and the makeup products that you've been loving, because some of these purchases that I've made have turned out to be amazing, and that's because of you. So thank you for that, and I will see you guys in my next video. See ya.